Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And listen, a lot has happened in the last couple days that, in my opinion, really kind of paint a vivid picture of what's going on right now within the United States. I mean, outside of the anti-crypto push, it feels as though everything is being stifled. Everything is being slowed down. Like, brakes are being pumped to make sure that this technology, this industry, is at a halt within the US until major players are a part of it. We're going to address that. We're going to talk about it. I hope that you are all having a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are out there in the world. Let's dive on in. So in a video recently, I did include this post and also this post over here from Brad Garlinghouse. This is on May 29th when this original post got posted, and it is regarding the Biden campaign ramps up crypto industry outreach in surprising tone shift. Because again, we knew that crypto was going to be a major argument around politics. There's over 50 million US holders of crypto. So this stands at a very significant time where it is election year and they want to get voters. So why not reach the crypto percentage of the US population by being positive about it? And we thought that that was going to be the case, right? Well, over here from Brad Garlinghouse, we have, if the Biden administration is actually serious about a shift, basically saying like, hey, like maybe they're waking up to what crypto really is. The single most important thing that they can do is demand the resignation of Gary Gensler. Now, I included this in a video recently. Well, guess what? This is in the time of like roughly 8 hours. We have, well, after only a few hours, this post did not age well. To say that this is incredibly disappointing from this White House at an incredibly pivotal time is an understatement. Here we have Biden vetoes bill overturning SAB 121, says standard necessary for crypto innovation. And over here we have breaking President Biden vetoes bill that would allow highly regulated financial firms to custody Bitcoin and crypto. Now, I saw a lot of people saying like, this is a good thing, this is a bad thing. It doesn't really matter, right? All we're starting to see is any sort of bill that is like pro-crypto, positive innovation, it's all getting vetoed, it's being halted, it's being pushed to the side, and this is a problem. Now, one thing within this breakdown that I saw, which is possibly a good thing, is this ending sentence, which is, my administration is eager to work with the Congress to ensure a comprehensive and balanced regulatory framework for digital assets building on existing authorities, which will promote the responsible development of digital assets and payment innovation and help reinforce the United States leadership in the global financial system. So everyone took this as a massive thing, right? Like in terms of the actual bill being vetoed, as a bad thing, as a negative thing. But this last like sort of sentence here or so is something that I'm looking at, because now it seems as though Congress is being tapped in. Now, this is very good because guess what? We always thought that the SEC was not going to bring regulations to the space. It was going to be Congress that brought clarity to the space. Is this going to be the case, though? Is this going to happen? We don't know yet. And it's uncertain to even say, like, yeah, I think it's going to, because we don't know, and we haven't really saw any significant traction from Congress that would say yes. Right? It's still uncertain. We're still kind of neutral on that. But I do think that this is actually a very good aspect if it's going to be the case, right? If this is actually going to happen, if they're going to work with Congress on this, then that's very positive. The alt season time bomb is ticking, and now is the best time to go and get your free access to 30 secret crypto gems that I personally have researched completely for you so that you can save a ton of time and make a ton of money. The link down in the description below takes you guys to this page where you can claim your free access instantly right now, free of charge. It's completely free. So what are you doing? What are you waiting for? Go and click the link down in the description below as well as in the comments below to get access now. Now, what does this tell me, though? This bill being vetoed is a sign of a bigger problem outside of just the SEC, because for the longest time, and it was very easy to do so, the SEC and Gary Gensler have been dragged through the mud. And again, it's because of what they have been doing. But if we go back in time to just June, Will put out a great post, and it was, if BlackRock's spot ETF application gets approved, it is undeniable that Operation Chokepoint 2.0 was orchestrated to drive out crypto-native companies and bring in large traditional firms that are buddy-buddy with the US government to try and control Bitcoin and crypto. Now, do you guys remember what was happening during this time? Because before BlackRock stepped in around their ETF application, there was so many major players trying to get an ETF to go through in terms of spot Bitcoin ETFs. None of them got any traction. All of a sudden, BlackRock came in, and it was almost like immediately there was traction on the street. And by January, we're talking about roughly 6 months or so later, we get the approval. Tell me that this game is not being rigged to give those large firms and TradFi giants the upper hand. Incumbents are making it through. Those that are trying to do anything that are not an incumbent major player around finance, they are getting shafted essentially and halted out of the system while the big players get the green light. And this is a big problem. Now, outside of this post, do you guys remember this post recently from just January? And this is regarding Custodia Bank's motion. Big shout out to Meta Lawman for this. I'm bringing this back up because I want to just show you guys what's really going on behind the scenes, because it's very easy to just point the finger at Gary Gensler and the SEC, but we know that this is a much bigger problem. It's not just the SEC. The Federal Reserve leads the Operation Chokepoint 2.0 crackdown on crypto. Custodia Bank has sued the Fed because it failed to approve Custodia's application for a Fed master account. This is essentially a bank account for banks, allowing banks to use the Fed system for check clearing, wire transfers, and also ACH payments. Federal law requires the Fed to grant a master account to any federal or state chartered depository institution. And we have Custodia as a Wyoming chartered depository institution. It usually takes about 5 to 7 days for a Fed to approve a master account. They waited with no response from the Fed to its master account application for 20 months, guys. Typical time is 5 to 7 days, and we're looking at 20 months. This is a big problem. So Custodia was left with no option but to sue the Fed. The Fed has denied Custodia's application for a master account 8 months after the lawsuit was filed. Yes, this does sound exactly like how the SEC treated Coinbase's petition for rulemaking. Custodia has turned up some fascinating details in the discovery it has conducted against the Kansas City Fed and the main Fed in DC. A tangled web indeed in connection with the Custodia's application for a master account. The Kansas City Fed conducted a comprehensive examination of Custodia and submitted its report to findings to the main Fed in DC. Now, this is what happened with the report, and it tells you all you need to know about how the government is treating crypto. So here we have capital, risk management, liquidity, management experience as well. Again, I'm not going to read all of this because really, at the end of the day, I don't want to waste your guys' time. Basically, what they were saying is that, Custodia Bank was lacking robust capital. They were, not, they had a strong risk management, right? But also, the thing to look at here is the difference between the Kansas City Fed and also the Fed in DC, right? For an example, here we have capital. Kansas City Fed's report concluded that the capital was adequate, while the Fed in DC said that there was a lack of robust capital requirement framework. Risk management, Kansas City said strong risk management, while the Fed in DC said significant risk management gaps. Liquidity, Kansas City Fed said liquidity risk was relatively low. This makes sense because unlike banks that use fractional reserve banking models, Custodia uses a fully reserved model. But with the Fed in DC, they said that it had insufficient liquidity risk management processes and even management experience, impressive and extensive from Kansas City, while the Fed in DC said lack of collective depth of relevant banking experience. So as we really look at this, right, the Fed in DC said the complete opposite of what the Kansas City Fed was saying and what they concluded. What is going on here? Right? And we have here that it is obvious from the documents uncovered in discovery that the process was rigged because the Fed objected to Custodia's plan to provide banking and digital asset services to individuals and businesses involved in crypto. Now, I want to ask you guys this. What do you think happened with Ripple? And what do you think happened with XRP if this is how Custodia Bank, which is a major digital asset bank, it's like pro digital assets, pro crypto. How do you think Ripple and XRP got brought up in discussion? I want to know what your thought on this is, because this is very significant when you look at what is happening around Kansas City Fed versus the Fed in DC. Now, outside of this, Also remember this, big shout to Anderson for this, as well as Eleanor Tourette. This is some very interesting and critical information. Wall Street should want to ban crypto, but if they can't ban it, they're quick to implement it in order to not become obsolete and or lose money. This explains a lot. Gensler is the right arm to try to shut down the industry, but doing a horrible job. Also explains why they would work with firms in the crypto industry. In case they're unsuccessful to shut it down, they'll be able to implement the technology in a reasonable time span in order to not become obsolete. Same goes for patents, etc. So as long as the SEC continues to lose in court, and perhaps legislation is passed in the US even, Wall Street should ultimately cave in. Now that's what we're kind of starting to see, right? We're starting to see the big incumbents getting into crypto, which is also why I say, like, I do believe that crypto itself around legislation, these regulatory, movements, things like that, it's kind of being halted. A lot of the major moves are being stomped out by these major players so that the big players, like for an example, BlackRock, can step in and get the green light. And that's exactly what happened. So as we really look at this breakdown here, yeah, I do think that the major incumbents and Wall Street themselves, they're trying to get crypto banned. They're trying to kill it. But even if they're unsuccessful with that, they're already here. That's what we're kind of starting to see. But here we have NEW, the American Bankers Association, which helped write that, or write what the crypto industry says is Elizabeth Warren's anti-crypto bill, Digital Asset Anti-Money Laundering Act, wrote a letter asking the President of the United States to sign SAB 121 repeal into law hours before he vetoed it. Interesting move from the American Bankers Association, which some see as a Warren ally in her anti-crypto crusade. Now, again, as we look at this and we look at what Anderson put out, is this the case? Are we starting to see these big Wall Street giants caving in because of the SEC, right? Because the SEC has been taking major losses in their battle against this industry. One thing that I want to stress to you all out there is if you're getting a little itchy, if you're getting a little concerned or worried about, crypto innovation or, moves going forward, and I know that we're kind of frustrated with the time that it's taking for these major assets to move in value that have utility, because again, utility is not a big thing right now because we can't get to that point without proper regulations. If you're getting concerned or worried that this is going to take a very long time, I want to say this, I don't believe it's going to. Because just like what Anderson is putting out here, as we do start to see the technology advancing in a very rapid pace, which with the help of AI and blockchain, it's going to advance very fast. The efficiencies of this technology are far too big and so valuable to ignore. They're going to have to cave in. There is no option outside of them saying, all right, we have to tap into this. We need to implement it. That's going to be the case. So they're not going to be able to ban it. They're not going to be able to stop it because outside of the US, it's going to continue to thrive. Technology it's unstoppable. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. It's unstoppable. It's like the internet. They tried to ban it. They tried to stop it. It got far too big. It was far too successful to stop it. So guess what? They ended up just having some proper regulations around it and they started utilizing it. And now we utilize the internet pretty much every single day, 24/7, 365. And it's one of the biggest things out there. I look at crypto technology, blockchain, DLT, pretty much the same exact way. People will be utilizing DLT without even realizing it. Mass adoption will happen. This technology is far too valuable to ignore. So they could try to ban it. They could try to shut it down. They could try to, regulate the hell out of it. They're slowing it down in terms of innovation, but I don't think that that's going to last too much longer. But also outside of this, we have following Biden's veto of the resolution to overturn the SEC's controversial crypto rules, U.S. lawmakers have intensified efforts to pass the landmark crypto bill FIT21. And yes, the FIT21 Act is a big one to focus on now outside of SAB 121. I actually think that this is one of the largest ones to focus on. And we even have over here today, Blockchain Association members sent a letter to Speaker Johnson and also Rep. Jeffries in support of a floor vote for the Financial Innovation and Technology for the 21st Century Act. I've actually included this in an HBAR video regarding what's happening because this is a very big bill. And I'm actually in very large support of the FIT21 Act, but we have down here our member companies are working to improve financial services and build a better internet, but need legislation that offers a framework for innovation, regulatory clarity for U.S. operators, and protection for users and consumers. Legislation must include pro-innovation and pro-consumer guardrails to ensure a fair and safe marketplace and to safeguard U.S. technological leadership in this cutting-edge space. And we also have the policy issues facing our industry are complex, and passing this legislation in the House will enable further discussion and debate in the Senate. Therefore, our members urge the House of Representatives to vote yes on HR 4763. And if you guys do remember, these are all of the big supporters of this FIT21 Act. Some very large names on here. Consensus is on here. Fireblocks is on here. GSR, Hedera, Kraken, Ripple. There's so many big names on here. And I do think that everyone should focus on this. And we're really hopeful that this does get passed through. Even the Financial Services GOP did put out a post regarding this. It's extremely disappointing that POTUS vetoed the SAB 121 CRA. This ignores multiple bipartisan votes, which sent the administration a clear message and approach to digital asset policy, digital asset policy is misguided. Congress will continue fighting for regulatory clarity for digital assets. And again, as we do really look at Congress, we already know within this breakdown that the administration is apparently eager to work with them to ensure a framework around this. So who knows what will happen. Patrick McHenry did quote this though, and we have the president's veto weakens protections for consumers in digital asset markets and upends decades of custody rules. By rejecting the bipartisan consensus of Congress, the administration is doubling down on its failed approach. Senate action on FIT21 is more urgent than ever. And this is why I brought up the FIT21 Act, because I do think that this is going to be the thing that really kind of gets through possibly. I'm hopeful for it. I think that anyone that is in support of crypto, Web3, blockchain technology, you definitely need to be focused on what the Financial Innovation and Technology for the 21st Century Act will do, how it will be successful if implemented, and what it could do to this entire industry as a whole, especially for those that are focused on, value-added utility cases and just utility in general. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on for some more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the video description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.